Okay, guys, it's Renee again. I'm back with another crazy Rupert story. I'm going to show some clips of Rupert and Jeff playing ball in our loft, just to give you an idea of kind of what I'm talking about during this story. And then I'm going to follow it with some actual footage of Rupert in the vet's office with me, waiting for the vet to see him, and then some clips of Rupert in the car on the way home from the vet's office. So, guys, enjoy. In this one, it could have a lot of different titles. It could be called Why Does Rupert Have a Record with Cook County? Or it could be called Why Does Rupert Hate the Vet's Office? Or it could even be called Why is Rupert Traumatized by the Vacuum Cleaner? It could have a lot of titles. And like some of the other stories, it does involve Rupert going to the vet for probably like the sixth or seventh time in his life. Like he went to the vet a lot as a kitten. But shortly after I moved in with Jeff, as I mentioned in our previous video, Jeff has cat allergies, and we bought super pet Dyson cleaning vacuum. And Jeff was going about his general life vacuuming like once a week, maybe twice a week, just to make sure that he was taking care of the dander. And I think it was doing a pretty good job. However, Rupert was not used to the vacuum being run that much, and we were in a lofted apartment. So one of these times that Jeff was vacuuming, he vacuumed the first floor, so Rupert naturally went and hid on the second floor. Jeff was vacuuming his way up the stairs because it was carpeted stairs and then a carpeted second floor. And then when he got to the second floor and he was vacuuming, Rupert jumped from the second floor, almost trying to get down to the first floor, but he ran into some stuff on the way down and he hurt himself. I was freaking out naturally that, my cat's hurt. I don't know what's wrong with my cat. It looked like his back was hurting, like he would no longer let me scratch his or touch his lower backside where his little brown spot is. So I thought there was a pretty big problem, and I made him a vet appointment, an emergency vet appointment the next day with my vet's office. He didn't see his original vet that was so nice to tell me about the, why my cat's peeing on everything. He saw a different lady, and Rupert was injured, which when you have an injured animal, they tend to be more aggressive, which that's all Rupert really needs is to be more aggressive. So we go into the vet's office for this appointment the next day, and I'm like, he fell one story, he hit some stuff, his backside's hurting him, I don't know what's wrong. And this vet was kind of nervous about how angry Rupert was. She really showed how nervous that she was. She was trying to take a temperature of him, but rectally, and he was not cool with that. So he was being pretty aggressive. And so I'm sitting there watching my cat, hoping that he's okay, that he's not broken. I'm really upset. And then all of a sudden, this new vet that I had never met before, calls for backup. And this is, I don't know the appropriate terms to say for this one of what exactly transpired from there, but all of a sudden, a midget walked into the office and held my cat's head down and started hitting him on the head to distract him so the vet could take a rectal thermometer. And Rupert was pissed. And then after that, she was like, we need to take him for x-rays, but we're going to have to sedate him because he's so angry. And so they sedated him. And then basically they sent me away for the sedation process. And, you can come pick up your cat in a couple hours. So I went and picked him up. They gave him back to me, covered in his own urine. The x-rays didn't reveal anything, but I had to drive him home covered in his own urine. And then basically I had this Tasmanian devil who will not take a bath without trying to murder me, covered in his own pee in my apartment and trying to figure out what to do with that. And I think we just kind of put him in the bathroom for a little bit till he calmed down because he was still recovering from the sedation, and wiped him down with soap and water on rags. And then a couple days went by, and he still was having problems with his lower back. So I decided to get a second vet's opinion that was maybe not as traumatizing. And I went to a vet's office in Chicago. And while I was there, I met this really nice guy named Kevin. He was reviewing the x-rays. going through a couple different other options of things that they could do for him. And I was just, letting him know, like, he had a really bad experience at the last vet's office. Like, it's not going to be great. So just like, don't take your eyes off of him, because he's like really cute in the face, but then he will like kind of like get your guard down, and then he'll really mess you up. So and Dr. Kevin was like super great about it. They did a full workup and went over a couple more tests. So like I'm like thousands of dollars into this vet visit with both of these vets at the same time. And finally, after everything was revealed, I'm just like, Dr. Kevin's like, we didn't find anything. And I'm like, well, why is he still so hurt? And then Dr. Kevin genuinely looked at me and just softly said, maybe it's just a bruise. And I was like, oh my God. Cats could probably get bruises, duh. So I took my bruised cat, and he did eventually, get over it in the next couple of days. After he had been scared of the vacuum and jumped a full like story down and hurt himself, and then had to have a rectal thermometer and x-rays and peed on himself and like a full workup 2 times. Like I just like re-traumatized him over this like bruised back, which is just so silly. So after I had taken Rupert to these traumatizing vet appointments, he had like another issue come up with some stomach indigestion problems. And so again, we go to the vet, and this is probably the 8th or 9th time. And, like I warn them, everybody, like, I'm like, hey, like he's really cute, and he's going to like get you to lower your guard, and then he will bite you. So, please keep an eye out for him. And that particular visit, they took him in the back to get like a weight or something, or to administer his like vaccine or something to that effect. And then my vet comes back and he's like, unfortunately, your cat bit one of the vet techs. And I was like, oh no. And then they're like, normally we are required to, just so you know, the process is that we have to submit a record to Cook County for Chicago, and let them know that this incident happened. It's just standard procedure. We are supposed to isolate the animal for 10 days and test him for rabies and make sure. But Rupert gets really stressed out at the vet's office. So we're going to let you isolate him at home. But you do need to bring him back in 10 days for another rabies test. And I was so frustrated by this experience, because I gave the warning labels. I let everybody know. And then also, this is the office that administers the rabies vaccine. So it's like, that he doesn't have rabies, but you're making me do this anyway. But also, thank God for not making him isolate in the vet's office, because for 10 days, that would just be completely traumatizing for Rupert. So I had to take him home. They gave me paperwork that says that he has a record with Cook County. But that was under my maiden name. So I really thought that I was tricking the system when we got married, and I changed Rupert's last name to my new name. It's like, haha, Cook County. Now you'll never be able to find my troublemaker cat, because he's got a new last name. That's the story of how Rupert ended up with a Cook County record. I am going to try to find that record, but I don't know if I kept it, because I was pretty mad that it happened. And that's also the story of why Rupert doesn't like the vet, and Rupert's reaction to vacuums. And then from that point forward, Jeff and I would vacuum as a team, where he would run the vacuum in whatever room he was doing it in, and I would wrap Rupert in a security blanket and hold on to him in a different room, and then we would switch rooms, so that the vacuuming happened and Rupert wasn't going to injure himself again, because it was a very expensive vet trip. So hope you guys like that story. I think I'm going to cue up Kaylee's outro song, because it's one of her favorites. And I want to thank you guys for listening to my crazy cat stories about Rupert.
Rupert cat, he's there every freaking way. La no, la no, la no, elbow ring. Oh no, mine.